like Kim mentioned, I started with Rotary in 2011 as a Rotary Youth Exchange volunteer. I was introduced to the program through a counselor who had some connections at Rotary, and she recommended that I give it a try, and I did. And so I spent a year in the south of Brazil in Florianopolis, and was really exposed to, at that time, just a totally different horizon and a gambit of things. It was my first time ever being on a plane, so took a 20-hour flight and 3 connections to get to my location. Being introduced to a whole new world, different language, different cultures, foods, you name it, everything that you can think of. And a lot of that was new for myself, but not only for myself, but my family. And kind of in the same way that Peace Corps' goal is to educate Americans about other cultures, and to also educate ourselves about other cultures, I was kind of fulfilling that role. So upon returning, and it was great even to, have Facebook posts and have some of my friends back here in America who had never experienced another country, or and might not ever get to experience another country, kind of be introduced to that topic, and just for it to open up my own kind of horizons, but to plant a seed in opening up the horizons of people in my community. It was a great experience. And after that, I felt forever indebted to Rotary. And just wanted to also express my gratitude. I think debt is not a great word, but gratitude. Gratitude is a really great word. So upon returning back home from the Peace Corps, from the Peace Corps, from my Rotary Youth Exchange, I went to college. And then after college, I went to the Peace Corps. And again, it was just that exposure to a different culture. Great to share that with the host country nationals, but also great to share that with my community back home. And yeah, and I think upon returning home, I started a Rotaract club, and I am the president of the Rotaract club here in Asheville. And as I was thinking about how great it was to be a part of the Rotaract club and how lucky I was to find it, I was finding that a lot of the other Peace Corps volunteers were having a little bit of difficulty transitioning back into American culture. They weren't in, I guess, community with, or found it difficult to find community with people who had their same kind of perspective and their same kind of desire to help out the world. And my thought process was just like, oh my gosh, I feel so lucky to have found Rotaract. I wish that other returned Peace Corps volunteers could find Rotaract or Rotary. And so what we did was, I've been working closely with Kim and a couple of others at the National Office of the Peace Corps. I think Ted was on here just recently. And we were looking at putting together a peace pipeline. So finding that, again, Rotary and the Peace Corps have some overlapping goals and interests, and even affiliate groups, which I'll talk a little bit about later. And so if we can help to build peacemakers around the world, and as early as high school. Rotary has a program for high school students that is a community service-based program in high school. And so if we can start there, introduce people to, or introduce those high schoolers to the process of building peace in the world, and we can transition them through the, Rotaract at their university or at the community level, being a Peace Corps volunteer or Peace Corps response volunteer, and then, transitioning to being an RPCV for life. All of these things kind of overlap. And the best thing about it is we build people who are even more equipped to impact and create peace in their communities through all these different overlaps, and joining different clubs at different times. And it also makes the programs themselves a lot stronger. And so I think it's one of those kind of cycles that can build upon itself in achievement of the goal that it's looking to achieve. So yeah, I that was kind of my contribution to partnering, and then found Partnering for Peace as an organization that kind of does just that. It's a group of Rotarians and Peace Corps volunteers, and so who better to understand the potential impact or the potential success that this could have, other than people who are have been in a part of both organizations.